Hello everyone, here it's Mike, and I am at Cave Comics in Newtown, Connecticut with Mitch Hallock, creator of Terrificon. Mitch, how's it going today?
It's going pretty good, Michael. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just want to say this is a beautiful place. It's the first
Isn't
time
it? Yeah.
I've been here, and this is with all the artwork, with the Batman art, and just comics, games, pops, collectibles.
Oh, yeah.
This is everything, comic book fan needs.
Yeah, absolutely. You could stay here for literally an hour and just look at, or more, and just stare at all the original artwork that Pat here has. Huge Batman fan. His license plate is Batman, I believe. So yeah, this is where to go. Cave Comics here in Newtown, Connecticut.
Cool. And so we're 2 weeks past from this past year's Terrificon. First of all, what are your first overall thoughts? Now that 2 weeks passed.
When can I do it again? Honestly, seriously, it was such. This has to be the best show I ever put on ever, and not just saying it because I'm like, I put it on. It's like my kid. Like that's my best kid. But no, everybody. The response has been so positive, so overwhelming. Everybody's been talking about the terrific time they had at the show. The terrific guests. Everybody was, so polite and what's the word I'm looking for? Contributed their time. They talked to you. I know you did interviews there. Everybody was more than willing to discuss with everybody. It was just something, and it's such an energy. Everybody likes it so much. The first thing they do is, when's the next one? And when you tell them it's a year from now, you're like, oh my God, I got to wait a whole year, like Christmas. Literally, that's, if I had to put it, it's like Christmas morning. You wake up, you waited, you ripped open all your presents, you're so excited, you're playing with them all, but then in the back of your mind, you're kind of greedy, and you go, when can we do this all over again? So that's what it's like. So, yeah, for 2 weeks now, I've just been crossing off the calendar, saying only 50 more weeks to go.
And looking at last year, and I talked to you the Friday night after the show, and you said the attendance was more from last Friday. Compared to the whole weekend from last year, how did we do this year?
It's weird. You look at both things. Friday had more people. Saturday had more people. Sunday had people. It was like a mirror universe of it. And we had more celebrities this year. We had a lot more celebrities this year than we did the year prior. Last year, we had Kevin Conroy, Batman. We had Ki Kwan. We had John Wesley Shipp. And we had, I can't think of the fellows. Oh, Greg Grunberg. So this year, we had Walking Dead people. We had Michael Cutlitz. We had Katrina Law from Arrow. Jason Mewes, Cameron Bicondover from Gotham. There was just so many people there. And then we had the Hulkbuster. So if I had to compare both shows, I mean, they're like neck and neck. One's an A and one's an A+. I'll give this year's show an A+, attendance-wise, guest-wise, just overall excitement. I think people knew what to expect. Like the first year, it was a new venue, so you didn't know all the ins and outs and how it works. And then this year, you were comfortable in your own shoes. You knew exactly this is how that works. This is where this is what time this goes. So next year will be even better. So we're getting used to it.
It really is like Christmas, that feeling.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
I know where all the Christmas ornaments go, and I know where the lights get plugged in now. So now it's just getting different presents.
And you just talked about some of the guests that you had this year. Yep. Talk about the process of bringing in the guests each year.
Well, it's kind of a selfish thing, I gotta say, because most of the people I bring in are people I'm fans of, because I'm a fanboy like you, and we're sitting here, and I just got my weekly comic books right here. So I book according to who I like to see. That's why people are like, how come you don't have anybody from Supernatural or Grimm? I go, I don't watch those shows. No, not that I won't bring them in the future, but I'm saying a lot of the people that you see at the show, whether it's the comic book artists or the writers or the actors, it's because I'm a personal fan of theirs. So it's kind of a greedy thing, I just want to meet them. So in my sick fanboy way, I've just made a convention just so I could lure the people that I like, and then I capture them and I tie them up and I get autographs from them. So yeah, so next year it's going to be Harrison Ford, Bruce Springsteen, Stan Lee, George Lucas, just a couple of minor people. Nobody big.
You heard it here first, folks.
That's right. When you see Harrison Ford and Bruce Springsteen, you'll know that they're being held hostage. So call 911. Mohegan Sun.
And then you brought in. Now last year you didn't have like a Saturday night, almost like a Saturday night
big event.
Yeah. So this year you were able to bring in, the ultimate king of the nerds, Kevin Smith, and talk about asking him to do it, and also just the experience of having him in the show before and after the show.
Well, the experience of having him there is always fantastic. You want some behind the scenes stuff? That'll be interesting. What happens is I remember years ago I had a boss who told me about a swan. You know when you see a swan in the water?
Mhm.
It's beautiful. It's very graceful. It's just gliding across the water. It's not like a duck. It's got this head and its big white feathers, and it just looks so cool. But you don't realize that underneath its legs are pumping like crazy to keep it afloat, you know? So when you do these shows, that's what it was like on Saturday night. For you, you sat in the audience, 7 o'clock, 7:30, Kevin Smith comes on, talks for 3 hours, everything's smooth. Behind the scenes, I'm having heart attack number 20 because what happened is his plane didn't land until 3 at JFK in New York, which is probably about a good 2-hour drive, maybe longer, from there to Mohegan Sun on a good day. And if there's any accidents or a fly lands on that highway, traffic shuts down. So from 3:30 when he landed to 4 o'clock when he got in the car, I was panic stricken for 2 hours. I just kept like checking my phone and getting updates where he was. Like we are in Bridgeport, we are now in Milford. I'm like, okay. So I literally mapping them just make sure because I have 400 people that a sold out show ready to see Kevin Smith. So that was a panic thing to happen. And then he showed up at 6:32. That's when he said his GPS was going to. I'll be there at 6:32, Mitch. Boom. I'm in the lobby. He comes walking out. I literally jump out because you see him dressed as the Kevin Smith would. He had the hat on and the hockey jersey, and you think it's a cosplayer because there was a cosplayer walking around who looked just like him. So I go, oh my God, that's that cosplayer. Then I go, no, that's the real deal. So I get him, and the people are trying to take pictures and autographs with him. Like, get out of the way. We got no time for this. Move. And I got him up into the elevator. We went up to his suite. Boom. And it's like 6:35, literally 3 minutes. And he's like, I'm going to have something to eat. Come back at 7, and we'll go. I'm like, okay. So I come back at 7. Room service is just showing up. I'm like, what are we doing here? He's like, I got to eat. I'm like, ah. I'm like, panicking. We got to go. So he wolfs down his cheeseburger and some milk, grab him. And one of the dealers from the show saw me upstairs, and he goes, why are you up here near this? Why are you on this floor? I go, no reason. What? Why are you here? I'm like, no reason. What's going on? I'm like, nothing. And I got a poker face. I'm like, gotta go. He's like, is Kevin Smith there? And then here comes Kevin Smith walking down the hall. I'm like, and the guy's like, oh my God, Kevin Smith, can I have your autograph? I'm like, no, we got no time. And I'm throwing the guy down. And then I grab Kevin Smith, and then we have to go what they call back of the house. Mm-hmm. So we pop up on stage, and you don't know how we got there because we don't come through the crowd. Yeah. So to go to back of house is very scary because you've got to go through like some tunnel and stuff. And we go and we're like, what's going on? And we went down this elevator, looked like a freight elevator. And when the doors opened up, we're like in the bowels of the Mohegan Sun, like where the boiler room is and the air conditioning, the vents. And it's like all dark. And Kevin Smith goes, am I going to get whacked down here? And I'm like, maybe. And you know what's the odd thing is? Somebody as a joke, I hope as a joke, had made a chalk outline on the cement floor of somebody, because everybody must think that when they go through. So we both look, we see the chalk outline, and we both look at each other like, I don't know. So that kind of puts you off a little bit, like to see, was there really a murder here? So we go up another elevator, we come up through the floor, and there he is, and I got 200 posters that he had autographed that we gave to the VIP people. So he's out there, and there's Jason Mewes waiting there too. So it's like one of those surreal moments. Like, did I think back in 1994 when I saw Clerks that one day I would be sitting backstage with a sold out audience waiting for Kevin Smith to autograph posters and Jay and Silent Bob? It was just weird. So I ran out, I introduced him, then Jay came out and he talked for a little bit, and the whole time we're looking backstage watching Kevin Smith. Like, as soon as we got the high sign that he was done, that was when he was coming out. So we're like, okay, not yet. Hey, everybody have a great time at the show. Yeah. Not yet. Okay, and then, okay, he's done. All right, good night, everybody. And we just ran off stage, and then Kevin talked for 3 hours, and that was something else. And then, so that's it. What it was like, it was me interviewing him for years on podcasts at New York Comic Con. I was on the show, Comic Book Men, and I had a relationship with a lot of those guys there, and it was just like, could you please do the convention? He's like, sure. And then, boom, there you go. And that's how it was. There. Long answer for a 2-minute, 2-second answer.
That was the Kevin Smith answer for the Kevin Smith question.
Yeah, that's right. I did a Kevin Smith. I talked too much.
And looking forward to next year, can you give us any preview for next year's Terrificon?
For next year's big event? We're going to do a salute to a certain artist. That's going to be built around the whole weekend. That's all I'm going to say about that. Everyone enjoyed the Batman climbing wall, so we're going to have a new interactive thing that you could do a photo with using practical effects, none of this green screen stuff.
Cool.
I've already got a couple artists I already talked to that enjoyed the show, so they're going to be coming in. Got a couple actors tied around a certain anniversary of a big popular fan base thing that's set in space. So you could think about what shows are coming up on an anniversary in the year 2017. And that's all I'm going to tell you right now, because you got 50 weeks to wait. Yeah, that's a long time.
Enough time to speculate and guess and
yeah.
So now switching to movies, this has been
okay.
a huge year, as we've talked to past interviews. We've done a big year for superheroes. The next 10 years, pretty much. Suicide Squad. Your reviews. You reviewed it on Chaz and AJ. Yep. You put your thoughts on social media. You said, did you say 9 out of 10?
Yeah, you know what? Because that movie had gotten such a bad rap, just like Batman versus Superman. So you didn't know what to expect. And I had read the Ostrander comics back in the '80s, so I kind of was a fan of the Suicide Squad, but I had heard stories of Will Smith's taking over the movie, and it's not the same Harley Quinn. So when you go into a movie like that, you have all these preconceived notions of what they're telling you it's going to be. It's going to be a bomb. And then all that week, people are going to say it's going to be a bomb. I was one of the few people who said, I bet this movie's going to make like $130 million. Like, you're crazy. I go, no, there's enough fans out there, just like Deadpool, that people wanted to see Harley Quinn. Mm-hmm. So I saw it. I enjoyed it 2 hours. It was a nice distraction. Some of the story could have been tightened up. I went back to see it a second time, and then I realized, some of it didn't make sense. But let me tell you, for my $10 I paid to see it at the big IMAX surround sound, thoroughly enjoyed it. That's all a movie's supposed to do. It's not supposed to show you the cure for cancer or the meaning of life. It's a distraction. It's entertainment. It's like buying a comic book. I don't expect to find the meaning of life in Spidey number 10. Might be, but I don't know. But you know what I mean? It's just a diversion. That's all from life. That's it, and it did its job, man. Enough said. I liked it.
I couldn't agree more. Now with Batman Superman, we had once it came out on DVD, Blu-ray, you had the extended cut, 30 minutes. Most likely, I don't know if it's been confirmed, but we can all guess that Suicide Squad probably gonna be the same thing with all the footage. Now, being a fan and people complain about all the scenes being cut out, that's just like people don't realize that happens with every movie. Do you think now that because once the DVD was out, they made a nice profit off of that? Do you think they're going to use that as a ploy going forward?
On just the DC comics or all the movies in general? Because they all do that. I mean, every movie from whenever since they started making movies, you always have deleted scenes. Yeah. Then somebody just realized years ago, let's sell more of these DVDs by including some of the deleted scenes. That's how it all came about. It's like years ago when CDs started, you weren't born yet, we had record albums. And to get people to buy CDs, they started putting bonus tracks on them. Like, you could only hear those extra 2 songs if you buy the CD, which is a little bit more money. So we started buying CDs. Same thing with DVDs. You could get the VHS tape, but you know what? If you buy the DVD, you're going to get these bonus features, and that's how the bonus started. Then the Blu-rays did the same thing. They'll be able to get Blu-ray features that you didn't get on the DVD. So it's always been a ploy. So going into a movie, I know ahead of time there's going to be deleted scenes, that there's going to have something to put on there. I don't like when you watch the deleted scenes and it changes the movie. That's what annoys me, because I've seen one version of that movie. Yeah. And now with this Batman versus Superman, they added a lot of, 40 minutes of footage. And that changed a lot of the story. There's a whole B story with Clark Kent doing an investigation on the Batman. And it's a good story, but it's not what I saw on the screen. So you feel cheated because the people that just saw the movie and do not watch the Blu-ray don't get to see that movie. So you know what I mean? It's kind of like a cheat. It's like you paid your $12, you should be able to see a complete story. I'm fine with a deleted scene that's like 30 seconds or 40 seconds, but when there's a whole another movie that happens because of this, that's really messed up. Yeah. And I don't want to see Suicide Squad to find out that there's a whole other storyline that we didn't see because they added a half hour of footage in it. You're like, wait, that changes the whole movie. The only one that they ever did that with that really bugged me was Daredevil. If you ever saw Daredevil, there was Ben Affleck. Right? There was the movie version, and then there was a director's cut. And the director's cut is totally different than the movie you see. It's literally got a whole movie line or storyline with Coolio, who's this... he's convicted of something, and Foggy Nelson, they're trying to get him off a murder rap. And then you find out that Kingpin's henchman murdered this girl that they were blaming Coolio. There's a whole other movie in this thing, and you're like, wait a minute, what is this? It could only be Daredevil Part 2 because they had so much extra footage. So, yes, I understand that they use it to sell DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff, and that's fine if you do it to a little bit. But when you add in 45, 50 minutes, that's just sloppy filmmaking. That's just a bad director, a bad editor. They don't have enough confidence in their story that they're delivering you that they're like cheating. They're like, well, we know it wasn't great, but here's the stuff that would have made it better. I would have sat through the extra 40 minutes of Batman. Yeah, if you're a true fan, you'll sit through this stuff. I don't know why. Suicide Squad, if there's 20 minutes of Joker scenes, I would have sat through them all. I mean, Christ. They're making those movies for us.
Exactly. So you don't. So going forward, do you think they're whoever has the final say? Do you think they are purposely knowing that people will buy that because of the extra? Do you think that I hate to think it, but do you think that will happen going forward?
It's a ploy to sell things? Oh, absolutely.
Coming up in movies, the next big superhero movie, we have Doctor Strange. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, Doctor Strange has always been like one of those outskirt characters, so it's going to be interesting to see if it's accepted by the mainstream. Like a Marvel guy, I'll go see it the first day for a show because I'm a big fan of Marvel Comics, no matter what. If they could do a 4-bush man or a 3D man or most obscure Marvel character, I'll go see it. But Doctor Strange is really niche because he deals with so much of the mystical elements and stuff. So it's going to be interesting if that's going to make 200 or 300 million. I think it'll be more like an Ant-Man where it'll find a small audience and it'll make maybe about 150, 200 million. I don't think it's going to be 800 million blockbuster worldwide type of thing. So he's a good character though. It's hard to write Doctor Strange because if you don't really get into the magic of it all, it's boring basically. So.
And this year's San Diego Comic-Con, a lot of stuff came out. What are you most excited for with both Marvel and DC movies coming out for the next 10 years?
Actually, I'm more excited for the Marvel TV shows. Really, what they're doing with Netflix with the whole Luke Cage is coming out, and now they're doing Iron Fist, and they're going to do Daredevil again, I guess. And then they're coming out with the Defenders TV movie, so that looks interesting. Marvel movies, Black Panther's coming up. I really don't know where they're going now because there's no more Captain America. There's really no more Iron Man. Thor Ragnarok is going to be the big one. And as far as DC movies, I'm not waiting to see DC movies. I'm not like anticipating to see Cyborg or see Justice League because there's such a bad connotation around them. It's like you'll wait until it comes out. I'm not like home counting the days. But the Marvel movies, I can't wait to see Infinity War. I can't wait to see how this all ends. But the DC stuff, I'm very hesitant on because I don't think they've got the formula just right yet. They're good movies, but they're not great.
At Terrificon, you had the game room,
Yes, sir.
And there was an awesome thing where if you connected your phones and you had a giant projector, it was almost like playing a giant game of, Pictionary. So to know that was like a test the waters, see how that would translate, and to help plan kind of get an idea for your video game con, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I had planned on doing a video game room the year before when we did the show at Mohegan Sun, but I just didn't have enough room for it. So this year I purposely pulled one of the panel rooms apart and said, this is going to be the video game room. And that was the whole idea. Would people want to come to it? And that room was jamming from the second we opened to the second we closed. It never let up. People were in line waiting. We had Rocket League and then Mario Kart and some old-fashioned games. And then we had some Call of Duty action going on. And people just wanted to play. And what you're talking about is we had the big projection screen. So everybody got to watch people do it. And so that was my mini test for GamerCon. That's my little survey, marketing survey, focus group. If people liked it there, they're going to like it when you expand it. So that's what that was. So yes, so I'm glad you liked it. You were a willing test subject, and thank you for being my guinea pig. And there you go.
You're welcome. And that date again is April 1st.
No fooling. April 1st and 2nd. No fooling this year. That'll be the beginning of April, right around when spring starts. I think spring is like end of March or something like that. So yeah. It'll be the spring thaw, the winter thaw.
And Terrificon 2017, right around the corner as well.
Right around the corner.
The same time this year, it's the 18th, right?
April 18th to the 20th. I even got the dates for 2018, 2019, 2020. Yeah. So yeah,
Just like the superhero universe and movies, you have it all.
Oh, you got it. Nowadays, there's so many shows out there. There's so many new conventions coming up. There's not a lot of venues in Connecticut, so you really have to work around the dates and make sure you got everything in place way in advance. And I'm even talking to. There's an actor that I can't get for next year, but I'm actually talking about getting him for 2018, which is kind of scary. That I don't even know what I'm having for lunch, and I know where somebody's going to be in 2 years. But that's just bizarre. My wife will tell you. He can't even remember to take the garbage out, but he's walking around in his head and goes, "Oh, 2017, I know who's coming." So it's scary.
Well, definitely keep those marked on your calendar.
Yeah.
Once again, we're here at Cave Comics in Newtown, Connecticut.
Yep.
Really appreciate the interview, appreciate the space here today.
Thank Pat, the owner. He just walked out with his dogs.
Pat is the man. I'll maybe get a few words with him as well.
Yep.
And thank you for tuning in, everybody.
That's it. Bye.